Well, I'm Teresa, and I'm here with Linda Wolfen, cookbook author and natural health expert. And this is the new book, the all-new Vegetarian Passport.
And it's great to be here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what the book is actually about, what separates it from other cookbooks.
Okay.
It is a complete international cookbook, all with original recipes. There's 350 recipes in here.
These are new recipes?
All new,
Okay,
not to
like
do
your
with the old
previous
one.
cookbook.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're collected from years of travel. I come home, try to figure out how did I make that, what does it taste like, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then the other really unique thing about this book is because it's vegetarian food, it's suitable for anyone that is healthy or wants to become healthy because it's loaded in fiber and antioxidants and essential fatty acids. And then the really unique feature of the book is at the beginning there's little sections on what to eat, from everything from candida to cancer to veganism to arthritis.
Okay, so for people who require a special diet, they can come to this book and they can see their little icon.
Right. So today we're making a few of the recipes from the book. We're going to be actually making two of them. This is Moroccan black bean casserole. Most of the things are already prepped and ready to go, but I'm just going to chop a few mushrooms here.
Okay, so you know, when I saw that, I thought, what an interesting idea. I always think of black beans, or I always associate them with Mexican food. I didn't realize that it was a Moroccan food. Or is it Moroccan spices with?
It's actually both. Basically, they put a few of different beans in it. You get some chickpeas, occasionally black beans, you know, various things. Lots of fruit, onions, artichokes, things like that. And you know, when I'm cooking, I'm kind of taking inspiration from the region. And then doing my own thing, making it taste like
putting your own take on it.
Right. So this is about 1.5 cups of mushrooms. And these are black beans that we talked about, and they're going in. Good source
of
fiber.
About a couple of cups.
How many is this? It's 1 can, so it's about 19 ounces.
Okay.
If you're going to use canned beans, I do talk about this in the book. I prefer to use fresh or frozen. But if you're using canned, always drain and rinse them to get some of the toxins out of them. So these are Kalamata olives, and I've cut them up already to make it easy. They have to be pitted. There's 12, and some chickpeas. It's about 1/4 cup, and they're already pre-cooked. And I've cut 2 white onions here, but you can use any kind of onion you want. Just chop them however you want. I'm pretty rough when I chop. Like, look out, get out of the way, because things go flying when I'm chopping.
Fantastic.
And these are artichokes, and artichokes give the dish a really nice taste. And artichokes are really good for digestion, heart, for being slim, a whole bunch of things.
Oh, that's fantastic. You know, I just thought of them as a decadent fun food. I didn't realize that they were healthy as well.
They're really good.
Well, if you can have both in one, I mean, that's great. I mean, and this is what, I'm really looking forward to learning more about this book, because I love, we all want to be healthy. We all want to do a little post-holiday purge. We've had a lot of sweets and stuff, but of course you want your food to taste good, right? And all of this looks fantastic to me.
That's the great thing about being a vegetarian. Basically, if you kind of follow what I've said in the book, like how to eat, what foods to avoid, you don't tend to gain a lot of weight unless you start indulging in empty foods, and it talks about that in there. So it's, it's pretty easy to do, not
Potato
hard.
chips are vegetarian.
Yes, they are, unfortunately.
Not necessarily all that good for you.
No, just watch out. This is just diced tomatoes. I just don't want to get this on you. Okay.
Oh, I get food all over myself every time I cook. I'm just quite used to it.
And what I need is a spoon, so I'm just going to stir that up.
And what's this kind of pot you're using?
This is a clay pot. This is what it's traditionally made in when you make this kind of dish. You can just use an oven-proof casserole, but it does marry the flavors in a slightly different way, and I actually quite like it. It also looks great when you bring it to the table, but they're not fun to clean afterwards. That's the only problem.
Oh, really?
And I'm just going to pour some olive oil in here.
Okay, this is what's fascinating to me. I had heard so many times that you cannot cook olive oil, that it's not healthy, and yet your book is all about the health. So you can cook olive oil.
You can cook olive oil. Olive oil is one of the few oils. It's a monounsaturated fat that's incredibly healthy for you. The Mediterranean diet is literally loaded in well, especially olive oil. But it stands up well to heat, unlike some of the other oils, and it's really great raw, and it won't raise your cholesterol, won't do any of those sorts of things.
And interesting, you just said the Mediterranean diet. This recipe is called Moroccan black bean casserole, so it's obviously originally inspired by a more Middle Eastern cuisine, but this all looks very Mediterranean. So I guess there's some crossover with the types of cuisines and then influences as well.
Absolutely, you get influences in for both ways. In the Mediterranean, when I was in Spain, I got influences from Morocco. When if you go to Morocco, you get influences from 3 different cultures there. Berbers, Arabs, and their own culture. So it's cooking kind of who's been there before, who you're living next to, because it's going to influence the region a lot. And this is just oregano. This is very powerful antioxidant. This is pretty much the way I tend to measure. So
that's how I do it too.
So this is approximately a teaspoon.
A sniff of your.
You sniff. This is Greek oregano, which I love.
It's very strong. It's beautiful. It's it's really retained its scent.
And if you pinch it, you rub it between your fingers, you get the nice.
Open the oils a little bit.
Salt, sea salt. I use not a lot. I don't want that much.
Just a very little bit.
Very little bit, because the diced tomatoes they already have salt.
Of course.
So you don't want too much. And pepper.
Great.
And just good grinding. Now, I love pepper. So do I. I love it.
And I'm sure that's good for you as well.
It's good for your arms too. You know, I'm sitting here grinding the pepper shaker.
Fitness tips and food all in one.
There you go.
I love it.
And then the last thing that goes in here is water, and you add it until it's about 2 inches to the bottom.
All right.
Sorry, to the top here.
Okay.
You cover it, and that's
throw it in the oven. Okay.
Throw it in the oven. You bake it
Great.
for about 3 hours, 15 minutes until everything's tender and the onions are cooked. Nothing worse than sharp onions. You want them nice and sweet.
Nice and soft.
Sweet.
So if it's 3 hours, this is like a Sunday dish, or this is
Right.
something that you can, if you're working from home one day, you can start it, or maybe in the evening, right as soon as you get home. I mean, it's very quick to throw it together.
Yeah.
So we made this a little bit earlier. This is the Moroccan
black bean casserole.
Okay,
Yeah.
this looks fantastic. And I love that there's artichoke in it. I'm going to make sure I get a little bit of artichoke because that's what I like.
I love artichoke too.
That is so good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I would have not guessed that was Moroccan. Not that I know a whole lot about Moroccan cuisine, but that to me tastes very Italian. Except again, I've never seen black beans in Italian food, but those are all the familiar flavors with the oregano, the tomato, the onion, the artichoke. That is delicious. And I know my husband would love that.
And sometimes you can even put a little cumin in there too if you want to make it a little more Moroccan as well.
Okay.
The spices they share a lot of similarities, but you can kind of play around.
Sure, why not? Well, thank you very much. Well, I am going to love my all-new vegetarian passport. That's fantastic.
Well, thank you.
And it was so nice to meet you today.
You too. Thanks, Teresa, for having me. It was great. I had a great time.
Good, me too.